Love 15. On.
Stevanovic, just 5'4", so she's not going to be putting down big bombs on serve. She'll be working on first serve percentage.
It's a good hustle from Tomljanovic, and Todd, I think by the majority of this match, this is what we will see. We'll see a lot of slices, even on the serve you can see. She doesn't have a big serve, but it will be all about placement and trying to slice the ball, and that's something Tomljanovic will just have to get used to and get used to quickly, and she does a great job there. I don't mind that though. That's for me a good error, because you got to be in on a serve that's slower and shorter. You got to be able to attack, and just misses that one. But you got to put that into the mind of your opponent that you will attack that second serve. That will pay off later on in the set and in the match.
A sneaky little ace there from Stevanovic. 160 kilometres an hour, and just catches the line down the tee. Oh. Okay. Haven't seen a lot of that used for a while, the old chip slice forehand.
Can you remember anyone? I know I can. The first one that kind of comes to mind. Well, two, actually.
Nicolescu?
Yes, and Tatiana Maria.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Semi-finalist to Wimbledon.
Yes. Slice on the forehand.
Advantage,
and that's where she tried to go for more on the second serve, because Tomljanovic, she's standing well inside the baseline to try and attack that serve, take it early, and straight away that is a double fault due to the pressure of the returner and their position. Well, let's have a look at that slice forehand, even at end range. Puts a lot of backspin on it, Todd. Can you look a bit confused?
No, I'm not confused.
No.
It's just it's an unusual shot to be using at this level.
Made to work hard in that point,
Team Australia.
Tomljanovic, and that last backhand, she was actually running backwards. Good pickup here, and then have a look at here. She actually has to run backwards, had the racket ready, great racket control to be able to go down the line.
Long opening game. Another break point for Tomljanovic. And that one's long and a good start.
Yeah,
a break of
Team
serve for Team Australia.
First game.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you were Tomljanovic. Doesn't matter even if a few slices get thrown in. You just want to keep getting up on the ball, because even that slice, you don't want the ball to play you.
No.
You want to get up to it.
Well, it would seem fairly obvious, Bojana, that Stevanovic, for her to do well at this level, she has to throw junk and mix it up and rely on a bit of courtcraft and speed.
Well, absolutely, and she won a few free points in that first game, but she just has to be careful that she doesn't start to get too predictable. I think when you're coming up against someone like Ajla, who's world class and is a Grand Slam quarter-finalist, Isla's going to be all over it, and it was a great job from Ajla just early on, just to shut that down. And now let's see how Stevanovic responds.
Ajla Tomljanovic representing Team Australia to serve. Love 15.
Well, for Ajla, she missed the 2023 Australian summer swing due to knee surgery. She did make 2 main draw appearances in September in Guadalajara and at the US Open, then took another break. Well, that's what we're going to see a lot of.
Love 13.
That's the only way that she can win points, is just to grind it out, manipulate the ball into all parts of the court. That time bringing Tomljanovic forward. Well played, love 30. Double.
Bojana, from here, it looks like the ball toss on the first serve especially is very low and too far forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right there, aren't you, on the baseline?
And it was from the very first serve when she missed that serve long, and she continues to miss it long. She needs to bring that ball toss a lot more back, so she's getting up to it as opposed to falling forward.
I think what she's dealing with so well, Tomljanovic, already early on in this match,
14.
is the drop shot. She's ready for it. She's anticipating it well. Let's have a look at the serve here. Quickly. This was actually a little bit of a better ball toss on that previous serve, where it allows her to go up after the ball.
it's a break back for Team Serbia.
Is that called?
Team Australia is requesting the replay of the out call on the right far sideline.
I think it was called.
Oh, just wide.
Game, Team Serbia.
Bump of the fist. Just to finish off
1 game on.
Ajla's comeback, if you like. At the end of last year, it was in November that she restarted, and then she won a WTA 125 title in Florianopolis. And that's Florianopolis, of course, is in Brazil. She competed there as a wild card. And that title run boosted her ranking. Have a listen to this. She'd fallen to 543 in the rankings. They got her back to 282. Won't take her long, I don't think, to get back into the 100. But you've just got to get matches and stay healthy.
That's good. Yep. I think here, even if she loses some points or games, what will be important is not to back off. Continue being aggressive and play your game style. Don't allow Stevanovic to slice and dice and get you back off what you want to do. That can sometimes happen when you play players like that.
Make a lot of unforced errors that you normally wouldn't, because you're just not getting the speed you used to. There's a foot fault called.
That's the first one we've heard
this week, yeah.
So the last 3 points that Ajla has won, the depth and the pace of that ball has been a lot harder and a lot deeper, so it's just taking the time away from Stevanovic, so it's really well constructed there.
I just also think she needs to use the width of the court, which she did in that last point. If you keep going just hard and deep and straight through, then Stevanovic will just have that pace to work with. Got a bit caught there, Tomljanovic, late preparation, got a little bit stuck with the feet. What I say to use the width of the court is if Stevanovic just plants herself back a couple metres back behind the baseline and uses the pace, then you'll also play her in. If you go through the service line and use the width of the court, you don't just spread the court, but she has to also cut off the angle and not just move horizontally.
Yep, too short. Smacks away a winner, and there's another break for Tomljanovic. And Team Australia at 2-1 in the first set.
Australia leads by 2 games to 1.
That game was perfect. You can be patient, right? You just wait for the right ball, yeah? Finish your serve. Well, in that changeover, Leighton Hewitt just saying that last game was perfect, and a lot of what Jelena Dokic was talking about. You've just got to get used to the awkwardness of the shots that are coming at you from Stevanovic. They're different. They're not as heavy. she's only 5'4", so she has to find ways to
Time.
be creative out on court.
And he even said, just keep moving your feet up and back to make time for yourself and get in position. And that's due to that slice. You got to have good footwork to get in position.
Seats quickly, please. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, the players are ready. Next available seat, please. Thank you. Alla, hold up, please.
I actually think, Todd, that, like you said, the backhand slice is really good. It's more the forehand slice. She's thrown in a few, but you can't continue doing that, I think, off that side. The forehand's the problem.
Yeah, it would indicate that she's not completely comfortable, and you know she's not going to go rip the ball. It's certainly to change up pace and spin. See, that's very clever. I mean, I got to say, I've not seen somebody like attack a second serve like that with a slice forehand, but it was very deliberate in the way that she cut it down short.
Can you keep doing that though all the time?
Oh, it's tough against these great, the big ball strikers. But here it is. Take a look at this. She really chops hard down on it. She knows she's going to hit it short. Cuts in. Look at the way it spins away.
I think at times it would be good if she can hit one so that you give the opponent a different look. But also I would put that drop shot in the bag. Put it back in the bag for now. I think it's got too much air.
It does. Yeah. She doesn't have a lot of weapons, and that's where she's trying to use that as a way to break up the play. But tough to do against somebody that is technically as sound as a Tomljanovic.
Just noticing that there is quite a windy sort of breeze out there. So in terms of when someone is hitting those slices that sit so low, the footwork is so important just to make sure you're really getting up to that ball.
Well done. Excellent hustle from Tomljanovic. That was actually a better drop shot, and there was more backspin on it, and he died down. But Tomljanovic, I love the anticipation here. And then have a look at what she does when she gets there. She's ready to hit, and she angles the racket face, gets around the ball to create it. And that's the width I was talking about.
Team Australia.
Draws Stevanovic out of court, opens up the line, and
Team Australia leads by 3-1.
Extends the lead.
Sometimes no matter how much power you have and you can overpower your opponent, they can start really planting themselves back and just run side to side and be a really good counter-puncher. But if you look at this point here again, look at where Ajla goes. Through the service line, through width of the court, she opens up down the line even more, but forces her opponent not just to have to go to the side, but to cut off the angle. Smart tennis.
Love 15.
Nice. I like that she's again taking that return inside the baseline, but she's ripping it, but with big targets.
Love 13.
Really building in confidence now, Tomljanovic.
Fifteen, 14. Game tennis time.
Cementing a serious lead here now is Tomljanovic. A double break for Team Australia. 4-1 opening set. Well, we have travelled just about all around the state, it seems, particularly the coastline. And this is Fremantle. This is 40 minutes from Perth or thereabouts. And the port part of this part of Western Australia. I know some of our colleagues are going to head down there for a couple of days before heading east to get started on the Australian Open qualifying. Wonderful restaurants, there's hotels around there, and then, of course, that's if you take the ferry, you go out from there to Rottnest Island, 19 k's offshore. Beautiful. So, Australia in the box seat here in the second of the quarterfinals today here in Perth at the United Cup. All because of that man. Career best victory tonight against the world number one, Alex de Minaur. Magnificent in defeating Novak Djokovic to give Australia a 1-love lead. And then there's been a substitute in the women's singles for Serbia. Natalija Stevanovic in, replacing Olga Danilovic, who has actually played some really good tennis here. I'm surprised by that, but obviously a niggle or two and unable to make it out here. The official reasoning we were given for Danilovic's substitution was fatigue.
Fatigue. I'm not surprised by that, if I'm honest, because yesterday after she finished the mixed double, she said that she was extremely tired already after the singles and was really feeling it.
Tina.
That's a perfect example of the trouble for Stevanovic, isn't it? Where she's a bit of a ball machine. She'll get the ball back to you all day long, but for her to find a way to win a point is difficult. And eventually she goes for the big backhand there, but it's wild. That's a very good serve, Boyana.
Well, she's definitely adjusted her ball toss. Isla, the last change of ends, Leighton was just saying to her, finish your serve. So when she's adjusted that ball toss, she's able to get up over the top and get a little bit more pop on it. And she's really done that well in her last 2 service games.
Game, Team Australia.
Very quick hold to love.
Team Australia leads by 5 games to 1.
But you can see, I guess, why she goes to the slides, both the forehand and the backhand. The feet and having the wrong grip and not finishing the shots either, not having that follow through and the hip and shoulder rotation. And it's a shame because she's actually got very good feel, and maybe that's something that just didn't have an opportunity to work on with anyone.
Well, Isla just continues to make Stevanovic work, doesn't she? She's just getting every ball back, whether she's right on that baseline or out wide. And, yeah, she's just getting her best ball and doing a really good job of zoning in.
What I like from Isla is the realization that, okay, I'm not going to get overpowered here. I need good footwork on the slice and getting down low, but I can build the point. It's nice controlled play.
Well, despite missing a couple of forehands in this game, it's really important for Isla just to continue to be positive off that forehand side and continue to be aggressive. That's a favoured side.
Second foot fault called. Foot fault called.
Nicely done. Back behind.
Stevanovic was edging over to the left too early there. She thought the cross-court short one was coming, and Ajla, out of the corner of her eye, saw her go and then just drives it through the line, and that brings up a set point for Australia.
And only one required. A lovely forehand winner from Tomljanovic. The Australian team on their feet. Team Australia take the first set in 31 minutes, 6 games to 1.
Let's take a look at their first set statistics there. So the first serve percentage obviously can improve for Ajla Tomljanovic. All of that sort of happened with a couple of doubles early on in those first 2 games. It started to pick up a little bit, but unforced errors, well, 12 from Stevanovic, and then have a look at the winners, just 1 winner, and that's not going to get the job done. It's very difficult for her with the game style that she possesses to beat some of the bigger, taller, stronger hitters in this game. So big ask for her to get this one back on track for Team Serbia. There's too many balls floating down through the middle, and then that's that sort of mix-up forehand that she has. But look, that one landing on the service line and gets dispatched as it should. And that was the set point. Alex de Minaur out watching Ajla Tomljanovic. Be feeling pretty good about himself after his performance earlier tonight. It's a full bench there in the Team Australia zone. On the left, standing, Leighton Hewitt on the right. Full-time coach of Ajla Tomljanovic, Robert Lindstedt.
On the right as well. So you can have your private coach as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like that. I think that actually, you know, the private coach does all the work week in, week out, and they should be a part of this kind of competition like that. And it's just a little bit of a rule change, and it makes it work. So one of the key things for Tomljanovic this week is to be out getting as many matches as she can, but having had a little chat to her mum who's here, she said the main thing is there is no pain when she's come off after those matches in the knee. Yeah, and Tomljanovic just said that as well in her press conference. And yes, she's lost the 2 matches before this one, but at this stage, it really, to be honest with you, even from our perspective, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're able to be out there healthy, everything else you can work on. You can work on your game, you can work on getting those matches week in and week out, put the work and the effort in, and we know that she'll do that. But after almost a year of pain and knee surgery, for her, it's just great to be out there. There is Novak Djokovic and some of his team. Be interesting to see. I obviously didn't get to hear his press conference yet, what he said about tonight's match, how the wrist and the forearms feeling, and what perspective that he will have spun on the match here tonight going into the Australian Open.
Time.
But Team Serbia in a deep hole.
Second set, Team Australia to serve.
Australia leading 1-love, and a set to love here in the second singles.
Oh, I love that shot. She's now used it a few times. And you just take a little bit of pace off and use the width of the court when you don't just go central. And Todd, I like that she's actually zeroing in on the, look at it, the technique there, low to high. She's actually going to do Stevanovic forehand more because that slice is a little weaker off that side. And why I say that is she doesn't knife it as much. There's more air as well. Doesn't stay low. So you don't have to get down low as much and you have more time.
Stevanovic there, just after missing that last forehand, just gave a look to her team and shrugged those shoulders as if to say, I'm lost as to what I need to keep doing to win any points now.
Game, Team Australia. First game, second set.
Comfortable hold for Tomljanovic.
So this is where Tomljanovic just needs to stay focused and not get too far ahead of herself, but also not relax. Just keep that pressure on your opponent. Keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes it can be easy just to relax and lose focus when you're winning quite comfortably. So 1 point at a time.
And so, change of ends here. Team Australia in the prime seat, 6-1 in the opening set, 1 love and a hold of serve. Still, I think an air of surprise, of shock around the stadium from what has gone before everybody earlier tonight.
Love 15. Love 30.
Kind of feel for Stevanovic a little bit here. There's an awful lot of pressure, expectation being put on to her to come out here to keep Serbia in this, and she's never turned up here as, you know, the player that she thought that was going to happen to her. She's been here as part of the support staff team, as one of the backup players.
15, 13.
And also, let's not forget, never played in an arena this big, this bigger crowd, and can all be a lot when you've never done it before.
It can be a lot when you have done it as well.
Yeah.
When you're lacking in confidence and you get put out in these spaces.
Let for serve.
It's actually a really good opportunity too for
Tomljanovic to be
15-14.
working on some parts of her game, because it's under pressure. And like the short cross-court forehand that you mentioned, Gielena, I think that's a really good shot to work more into her day-to-day repertoire. That return there, hit with height and heaviness through the centre. These are all things that are perfect. This is just what she needs in terms of her, I was going to say development, but recovery and moving into this new season.
And to do it then against the better players under pressure.
Sometimes you don't practice things
No.
in matches to get the chance.
And just touching on what you both said there, I think a lot of it is also
30-14.
trusting her knee, especially when she's pushed physically out wide. She's good. Isla's great, in the middle of the court, but when there's doubt in that knee, that's where she's really tested, is when she's pushed out wide for those types of shots. So every point, every game, every match for her right now is so crucial.
The early break.
Team Australia leads by 2 games to love.
And I think this type of match, when I felt like she played actually some really good tennis, even though she lost the first 2 matches that she played here, but she played a top 20 and a top 10 player. So this one for me, is a really good one to kind of get a bit of that confidence. And once you get a win on the board, doesn't matter what the ranking is, it really does. It's something different. You can't get that through any kind of practice, and no matter how many sets you win in practice. Sorry, I have to correct myself, a top 10 player, and Katie Bolter ranked 56 in the world, but pretty much, like everyone said this week, playing pretty much like a top 10 player. Yep. To say, Todd, I've been waiting for her to maybe make that move, come forward. She's had a few well inside the court, and sometimes that's the question. Are you comfortable enough and confident enough to do it in a match? And when you've got a set and 2 love and 15 love, that's the time to maybe try that, come forward. You can see the smile. I think that's what she meant as well. Well, I actually came forward and won that point. Wow, haven't seen that today.
Well played.
30-15.
The opening was there, but usually she would slice. Here she chose to hit over it. Did well.
Well done. Once again, just pushing wider and wider to Stevanovic, and she just
40-15.
hasn't got the reach or the power out there to keep herself in these points. And Isla's playing with pace, precision, and patience.
40-30. Game, Team Australia.
So Team Australia well on top. 6-1, Sri Love headed towards a semi-final, it would look like at this point.
Well, we spoke about this at the start of the first set when things were level at 1-1 and 2-1. The question was whether Stevanovic could keep up with the slices and the chips and, you know, a little bit of that awkwardness in her game, and only time would tell. And I think we've just noticed as the match has progressed, it's been harder for Stevanovic to maintain that level. And that's credit to Ajla. She's managed to just stay with Stevanovic and make her play, but also play her game. And I guess that's something for her to continue to work on, is up against these best players, what weapons will she possess?
Well, kudos to Novak Djokovic. He's out watching his team member, trying to give as much support as he can. Novak Djokovic sitting on the bench in the team zone, supporting Stevanovic, which is great to see.
Time.
Shock result for him tonight. Not used to losing. Penny, for your thoughts, Novak. Thing is for certain, he knows that Team Serbia are in a big bit of trouble here. Team Australia having taken the first singles and here at 6-1, 3-love.
Love.
Set it up perfectly and then missed the backhand volley.
15-all.
It's great point construction though. It was a better drop shot as well. And this one here, she almost looks like she overplays, and that's because Tomljanovic has been getting to all of those drop shots and making every single one that she gets to. So it puts pressure on you to have to make the next shot better and better.
Oh yes, there's another backhand down the line.
30-15.
And she has to take those types of risks, really, if she's going to get herself back into this match. Sort of just probing the ball around the court is not going to, and has not worried Tomljanovic at all. board in the second set, and a nice
Team Australia leads
roar
by
and
3
round of
games to 1.
applause from the Serbian fans in the stands.
In a moment like this, such a big occasion for Stevanovic, it really is all about staying on court as long as possible. So she did such a great job there of holding and putting the pressure back on Tomljanovic.
I really liked for Tomljanovic there that she's actually kept the focus, but also the physicality up there and the intensity, just like she had in the first set. Not easy sometimes to do at the best of times, let alone when you've been injured, just to keep it all up there at the same level for 2 or 3 sets.
Well, I agree with you. Tomljanovic in that rally there had a chance where she could have come forward.
But she backpedaled back.
Yeah, and then set the point back into a reset mode. Chance to keep coming forward, use the volley.
And I think when she comes back from that injury and hopefully stays healthy, that's for me the next thing for her. She's got such great ground strokes and is technically so sound that you got to start taking advantage of them, especially against better players. Start making that transition forward. Like that. That one she actually looked to come forward. You can see that she was going to come to the net, even if that wasn't a winner.
Left for serve.
Yes, there it is.
Game, Team Australia.
Exactly what we were calling for. Giving us the full repertoire is Tomljanovic.
Team Australia leads by 4 games to 1.
Well, it's usually around this time of the night. Once we clock off from work, you can think about having a glass of wine, and this is one of those areas that makes some of the magnificent wine. But it's also got the coastline, it's the Margaret River, and it is down the coast south of Perth. You can go trekking, there's all the caves, there's the waters, there is great surfing there. Wonderful food, and as I mentioned, some of the best wineries in Australia, in that part of the world. But we are in Perth, in the heart of the city, and that's the RAC Arena, as night falls here on the final evening of tennis at the United Cup for 2024. The quarterfinal won by Poland earlier today, and Australia on their way, it would seem, to the semis in Sydney tomorrow. Well, earlier today, Poland went through to the quarterfinal. Sorry, they won their quarterfinal, through to the semi-finals. They'll be travelling to Sydney. And Team Australia are trying to do the same here tonight against Team Serbia. Alex Timonov with biggest victory of his career earlier tonight out on this court with a straight sets victory over Novak Djokovic, has put Australia in the prime seat. And Ajla Tomljanovic has her foot to the accelerator and trying to get that semi-final berth. She's ahead 6-1, 4-1.
be a flight early tomorrow for quarterfinal winners to head to Sydney. They'll get in, perhaps go out, do a small workout, and then get ready to play the next day.
Love 15.
So they get in. They'll get in tomorrow, Yelena.
Yes.
But they'll get a day and a half off. Semi-final on Saturday.
Yes, so they'll still have Friday off, so that's probably the day where you can just get that practicing, get used to the conditions a little bit in Sydney, have a bit of a break and get ready for Saturday.
You're very close to the team bench. How's it feeling, Bojana?
Well, Team Serbia just look a little bit deflated.
Yeah.
I can just tell by their body language and the looks on their faces. And the Aussies, I just feel like their energy's there. I mean, they're on the cusp of winning their way to the semi-final, so very different from both sides.
Love 14.
What I've noticed from Ajla's returns in this game is how close she's standing on that baseline, in particular on that second serve. She is well inside that baseline, so it just goes to show how aggressive she's looking to be off that return.
Oh. Well, she didn't mean that, that's for sure. It's all going in Australia's way.
Team Australia leads by 5 games to 1.
And a game away from the semi-final of this year's United Cup. Ajla Tomljanovic with the serve coming. Now the match time just has ticked over the 1 hour mark.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Ajla trailed Love 1 in that first set, and since then she's won 12 games in a row. So she's certainly focused tonight.
Just misses.
15-13.
Sorry, Chad, I said 12 games, I meant 9. I just did my maths. I'm not very good at maths.
I was just looking at my scorecard going, no, not sure that's right, but you know,
no,
we'll go with it.
My bad.
Bit of trouble here though, 15-30. Tomljanovic just steadying everything there, making sure there was no unforced errors. Spin, good height over the net. Draws it back to 30-all. And as hard as she tries, Stevanovic, eventually she drops one a little too short, and it gives Tomljanovic the chance there to dispatch the forehand, which brings up a tie point for Team Australia. Tomljanovic seals the deal, and Team Australia are on their way to the semi-finals. And Bojana, I mean, a result that we expected in a sense once that change had been made for Team Serbia, and well done to Natalija Stevanovic for coming out and putting up a terrific effort. She wasn't really, I don't think, thinking she would be out here tonight, but nevertheless, for Team Australia, it's an impressive victory for them.
It certainly is, and I think for Ajla, it will do her the world of good in terms of her confidence, and she was able to work on a few things that she wasn't able to quite execute in her first two singles matches, in particular that serve, being aggressive on that forehand, and physically just getting to a lot of balls. So I thought she did so well, especially in the start of that first set, just to shut down the game of Stevanovic, and she'll carry this into the semi-finals. And
yes,
the Aussies, I mean,
very important for her to get that first win of the season, isn't it? Well, the Aussies will be discussing travel plans now, because tomorrow there was at one point, you know, do we go to Melbourne? Where are we off to? Adelaide yet? But now they'll be going to Sydney for the semi-finals. They'll have joined Poland, who won earlier here today. Poland defeated China. And so a memorable occasion, and let's pass it down to Jelena Dokic.
Well, Ajla, I'll first start with the whole team because, you know this, it's not so much of a question mark as it was the other night. You guys are through to the semi-finals in Sydney on Saturday. How does that sound?
Well, it's, you know, I'm always coming out here when the team did its job, and they gave me a chance to get a W. I was losing every day so far, so Demon played amazing today. We've been amazing in doubles as well, so to get a chance when you're losing to keep going and have a third match win is amazing, so it feels good.
You might have lost those two singles matches, but you played great tennis. And your great fighting spirit came through, just like you did today. But tell me, how special is it to play, not just in front of the Australian crowd, but this is almost 14,000 people, and it's pretty full. How special was that to have all week, and especially today?
Oh, it's awesome. You guys have been so great every time we played. I have some cool memories from Perth playing Fed Cup in 2019. So a lot of mixed emotions happen on this court, but every time we come out, you guys are here and supporting us, so we have no excuses but to win.
And how special is it to have these guys supporting you? This is a very different event. We don't have this every week of the year. In fact, this is the only time we have this, men, women together, captains, coaches. How special was it? Especially because last year you didn't play. You were injured. So how special was this year?
It's so cool. Last year I didn't play, but I actually still had a great time with the team. There's a special bunch of people, a lot of different personalities. I'm used to just girls, so guys aren't bad either, I guess.
All right, one last question. You've had a tough year in 2023. Took you almost 12 months. This time last year you were getting ready for knee surgery. How did you keep the belief? How did you keep that patience and to still be really upbeat after one of your best years in your career in 2022?
Ooh, it wasn't upbeat for a while, but I did have this thought in my head that come January 2024, I want to be fully ready, and anything before that is a bonus. So the fact that I'm here healthy, pain-free, and building on some matches before AO is really amazing. And yeah, it kind of feels more special when you go through something tough.
Leighton, I know you're tired. It's been a long week. I'll just ask you quickly, you must be very proud of her, especially she's had a couple of tough opponents to face, but to still come out and be so positive, you must be very proud of her.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been fantastic all week. And yeah, as you said, she had a really tough year last year being injured, and she wanted to come out and play really well in this event, and now to give herself an opportunity in the semi-finals in Sydney. So no, really proud of her effort all week, and she's got better and better with every match.
I'll ask you one more question. Before I do that, you don't often get kind of that credit because we always ask you questions. I want to just thank you for what you do. Davis Cup, United Cup, you're such a leader, obviously an amazing player, but you get the guys together, you get the girls together for United Cup as well. You have such an incredible team spirit, and just to keep it all together, I just want to say thank you and well done. I think I speak for all of Australia.
No, it's an absolute honour. You know, me as a player in Davis Cup, and whenever I played Hopman Cup here in Perth as well, the support that we get around Australia, but the pride you get in wearing the green and gold, and that's all I've tried to instill into the teams that I've been part of. And you know, you're just so proud of these guys. Every time they go out there, they leave their heart and soul on the court. They play with pride and passion, and give 100% for the country. And win or lose, we're a very tight-knit team.
Now, one last question before you go and celebrate a little bit. Tomorrow's travel day. Friday you still have off as well to get ready before you play on Saturday. Does that change anything in the preparation? Will you maybe have a little drink today?
I will, but they won't. I'm allowed. That's the best thing about being captain now and not player. Hey, I can celebrate mid-tournament, but no, you know, obviously they'll enjoy it tonight, and it'll be a very relaxed day tomorrow. And conditions in Ken Rosewell Arena in Sydney will be slightly different as well. So Friday will be about adjusting to that, and then preparation to have a crack at a semi-final.
We'll be watching, we'll be cheering. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Australia, Ajla Tomljanovic, congratulations!
Nice work, Jelena Dokic. Lovely interview, bringing the crowd into it. And I thought Bojana, Leighton's accent just got that little bit more Australian during that interview.
I thought it's always been like that,
He was getting, as we say, a little more ochre.
Oh no, it's great. It's great to hear from him as well, and just hear the insights of the team. And it sounds like they're all gelling well together. Ajla touched on the different personalities, but isn't that what makes a team special? And,
well, yes,
and you get the opportunity to play within a team, which, you know, these tennis players don't get to do for 99% of the year.
It's one of the great development tools of our sport too, is to get younger players together to help them with the older players. And you know, when you have that spirit of representing your country, it makes you better, and it puts you under pressure that you don't have as an individual player. And if you can handle it, you can handle anything. And so Ajla handled that well today. We'll take a look at the match summary. Still some work to do on the first serve though, Bojana.
Well, look, I thought she adjusted really well, especially at the start of that first set when her ball toss was just a little bit too far forward. But I thought really from the first half of that first set right until the end, her serve improved immensely. And then, look, her forehand and her backhand winners pretty on par with her unforced errors. But overall, I think it's just the win that will give Ajla so much more confidence, especially leading into Sydney.
Bit of relief, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just, it does the world of good. It doesn't really matter who you play. So I just thought a really solid performance for her tonight.
Indeed it was. So Ajla Tomljanovic seals the tie for Australia after Alex de Minaur had the biggest win of his career, defeating Novak Djokovic, and Team Australia are through to the semi-finals of the United Cup.